tour is at 1:45.
Okay.
So that's going to be in about 5 minutes in the Transcontinental Railroad
Okay.
Gallery.
The Transcontinental Railroad Gallery is located on the first floor in the first exhibit hall in front of the orange standard locomotive. Once again, the next Color Tour museum will be starting in 5 minutes in the Transcontinental Railroad Gallery.
Ulysses S. Grant.
You agree that it's cool? I have to tell you, I'm wearing another shirt because I freeze in here. There are times, especially on a really hot day, when this place is absolutely freezing. Are you going to join me for the tour? There's this seat over here if you want to sit there. Did anybody ride the train to get here besides these two people from Richmond? Where did you come from? Capital Corridor, it's wonderful. 41 bucks, get you all the way to San Jose in 3 hours. And welcome to the California State Railroad Museum. You are in a state park. One of 280 state parks in California, but that sometimes gets lost in the shuffle. And I'm going to take you back 177 years. It's 1848. California is not a state. In fact, the area that would become the state of California has only 20,000 people. That is impossible for me to imagine. My wife sent me to Costco yesterday, and I thought the entire state of California from 1848 was there with me. But something very exciting happened here in 1848. Does anybody know?
Gold Rush.
Yeah, somebody kicked over a rock in Sutter's Creek and discovered gold. In the next 12 months, 100,000 people came to California. 100,000 people packed up everything they owned, put it in a wagon, put it on a horse, put it on their back, put it on a ship, and took a 5 to 6 month journey across unknown land and unknown waters to come here to find gold. These journeys took 5 to 6 months. I sometimes wonder if I could do that. If I could take everything I owned and move to Indonesia, no, pick a country I know nothing about. I don't think I would have done it in the gold rush either. By 1850, California is a state. But it's very isolated. We're celebrating, by the way, our 175th anniversary this year. It's very isolated. There are no states west of Illinois, all this open, uninhabited land in between. And in college at the age of 11. Have any 11-year-olds with me today? I love when I get the 4th graders in here in the spring. It was at Rensselaer Polytech, still a school in upstate New York. When he finished that railroad, he wanted to keep going. He says, let's keep right on going over the Sierra Nevada mountains. I said, no. You can't do it. You can't build a railroad over those mountains. But he believed it was possible. And he spent the next 5 years of his life from 1856 to 1861 making trip after trip after trip into the Sierra Nevada mountains looking for a route for the railroad. And he did. That act is approved by Congress and signed by President 1862,
Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln. And it says that the Central Pacific Railroad would start in Sacramento and build east. And the Union Pacific Railroad, a railroad not yet in existence, but created by this Railroad Act, would start in Omaha and it would go west and they would meet. It did not specify where, and it did not specify the route. In February of 1863, ground is broken here. If you want to know why the museum is here, in October of 1863, the first rail is laid about 3 blocks from here, and the Transcontinental Railroad starts. A railroad needs locomotive. So they order one. This one. Can't be built here. There's no industry in California. So it's built in Philadelphia. And it is Central Pacific #1. It's the first one. 1863. It is named for the governor of the state of California, the first governor of the state of California, Leland Stanford. He is governor of the state of California. At that same time, he is the CEO of the Central Pacific Railroad. Hopefully not today. 300 linear feet. So when I say that Theodore Judah found a route from sea level here in Sacramento to 7,000 feet at Donner Summit, he had to do it at the rate of 2 feet every 100 feet. Has anybody driven to Reno? Interstate 80? There are 5% grades, there are 6% grades, and the whole time you're on that route to Reno, the railroad is right alongside you. Now it comes time to build this railroad, and this is a huge labor-intensive project. There's no mechanized equipment. This is all pickaxe, sledgehammer, black powder kind of work. And they need lots of workers. They put Charles Crocker in charge, and he puts out an ad for 5,000 laborers for steady and permanent work. Long project, lots of work. He doesn't get many people applying to the ad, and the people who do apply don't work hard, and they don't work long. They get their money, and where are they? Back to the gold country. They get their money, and they're out drinking. And right away, this project looks like it's going to fail. He takes a chance. He hires 50 Chinese immigrant workers. Now the foreman, James Strobridge at the time, didn't believe they could do the work. He thought they were too feeble, and he thought they were too small of stature. But he is proven wrong almost from the very beginning. They work hard, they work well in teams, and they're healthy. Their diet, fish, rice, vegetables, fruit. They're boiling the water from the streams. All the impurities are out to make their tea. And the bottom line is they work hard and they're healthy, and 50 becomes 100. 100 becomes 1,000, and 1,000 becomes thousands. And somewhere between 10 and 20,000 Chinese immigrants make up 90% of the workforce of the Central Pacific Railroad, and without them, the railroad would have never been built. Now, how hard was this work? I'm standing in a replica of a wooden shed. In order to protect the tracks from snow and avalanche, the Central Pacific built 40 miles of these wooden sheds. This is a tree, attached to a tree, attached to a tree, attached to a tree. 4 trees every 5 feet. 175,000 trees cut for the infrastructure, stripped, bolted together. That did not include all the pieces of wood that had to be cut and sawn by hand and planed by hand for the sides. Let's take a look at some of their tools. So they would take this heavy iron bar. It took 3 or 4 people to hold up this iron bar, and they would put the cross against the granite mountain. And then another one would hit it with a sledgehammer, quarter turn, hit it with a sledge, quarter turn, hit it with a sledge. That's how they drilled a hole in the granite mountain. When they got a hole 2 foot deep, they put in a fuse, 1 foot of black powder, 1 foot of clay to hold it in, light the fuse, and hope they get more than a crack in the granite mountain. They used 300 to 500 kegs of black powder every single day. Whatever came down had to be hauled away by hand. This is Donner Lake. Anybody been up there? That's 7,000 feet. This is the railroad. Interstate 80 is on the other side. This is the Summit Tunnel. This is one of 15 tunnels that had to be dug through the granite mountains. This is the longest, 1,529 feet. They started digging this tunnel, and after 1 day, they were 1 foot deep. Now, it didn't take a genius to figure out it was going to take 1,529 days to dig this tunnel. So they started digging on the other side, so they were on 2 sides trying to speed it up. Wall. About 10 or 15 years ago, the Union Pacific now owns this route. The Union Pacific abandoned this tunnel. They found a better route, have drones now, GPS, all kinds of ways to find things. And they found a better route where they could 2-track so they could pass. And this tunnel has been abandoned. But what that means, if you're wearing sturdy shoes, and I always look down at this point, if you're wearing sturdy shoes, you can walk through this tunnel. So if you Google Summit Tunnel, it'll tell you where to get off at Interstate 80, and you can walk down to this tunnel, and you can walk through it and kind of get a feel for the Chinese and building that tunnel. It took the Central Pacific Railroad 4 years to go 100 miles. 4 years to get from Sacramento to Donner's Summit. Organizes 4,000 Chinese workers and 8 Irish supervisors, and the Central Pacific Railroad lays 10 miles of track in 1 day.
Wow.
It is a record that has never been broken. It is a record that will never be broken. We have our own railroad here. It's 3 miles long. We had to repair 1 mile 2 years ago. It took 3 months. Could have used Crocker. Follow me. For the workers on the other side. For the Union Pacific, they were mostly Irish immigrants, some Italian immigrants, lots of Civil War veterans from both the Union and the Central Pacific and Southern Confederacy looking for work. They were mainly the people on that side. There were also some blacks working on that side. Remember the Pacific Railroad Act of 1862 that Theodore Judah wrote? It said that for every mile of track that the railroads laid in flat ground, they would get $12,000. For every mile of track they laid in the foothills, $24,000. For every mile in the mountains, $48,000. The money was in form of bonds, 30-year bonds payable back in 30 years at 6% interest. In addition, free land. The railroad got millions and millions of acres years. During that time, it was leased, rented, borrowed, stolen
If it would
by
have
the
everything
women's
come out,
suffrage
would,
movement in Nevada.
to take it out.
And they took it to the state capitol for the signing of the amendment to the Constitution, giving women the right to vote. And they put a big banner on the side, and if you look closely, you can find little nail holes where they dug years ago, and up until the Central Pacific Railroad, this place was on the border of let's see, this is one of the two golden spikes created for the joining of the railroad at the end here behind this monster locomotive. We have a sleeping car you can walk through, a dining car you can walk through, and we have a post office on wheels you can walk through. We have a personal car that belongs to two gentlemen. You're very welcome.
Thank you so much. Thanks for being here. Thanks for volunteering.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. You were great.
You're very welcome. I love how you operated this chair. Very cool. Does it go up and down as well?
Well, that's as far as it goes up.
Yeah. Oh, but that's nice. That helps in a crowd, right? You're almost
Yeah.
at natural height.
Definitely. Well, you're a tall guy. That's why.
Oh, I'm not so tall. I'm only 5'8".
Really?
Yeah. This is the pattern on this trim. This one right here. Yeah. A very popular pattern. So it was replicated because you can't buy that today. I mean, you'll find a piece on Etsy every now and then that somebody stole from a train. But they replicated it here. So this china here was replicated to look like this china.
Is this real silver? So you were in technology? That's tarnished, but this one is not. Yeah, I know.